Hey burners, I'm Fiona from Fat Burners Only, here to talk to you today about ATP Science's best-selling product, Cort RX. But before we dive into the product, I want to talk a little bit about cortisol and normal, healthy cortisol function. Cortisol gets a bit of a bad rap in the industry for being related to adrenal fatigue and also related to weight gain around the midsection. However, cortisol isn't all bad and it's actually incredibly important in the body and has highly useful functions when it appears in the right amount and at the right time. So what is healthy cortisol and what does healthy normal cortisol pattern look like? It looks a little bit like this if you can picture. So cortisol should typically spike in the morning to give you a bit of energy so that when you wake up you're not sluggish, you feel alert, you feel awake and ready to get out of bed and attack your day. Then throughout the day it should kind of level off a little bit before at night time going into a deep, what we call cortisol trough. This cortisol trough will put you into a deeply restful state while you are sleeping and will get you into that delta zone or that deep REM sleep. So that's an example of what normal healthy cortisol function looks like. And as you can see, cortisol again is important for that wakeful period in the morning and helping you get through your day. When you experience normal stress throughout the day, you'll experience little spikes in cortisol, but all in all, you should remain back on that healthy cortisol pattern at the end of the day. What tends to happen though, rather than experiencing normal healthy stress, due to our busy lifestyles and our stressful environments, our bodies get into a state of hyperreactive stress, which is when we encounter a stressful environment and our body releases a large spike of cortisol. When you're in a state of hyperreactive stress, it can present as things such as chronic depression, it can present as insomnia or sleeplessness, or it can just present in a way of feeling agitated or on edge throughout the day or experiencing frequent bouts of anxiety. What can happen is we can be in this hyperreactive state and it can be ongoing, it can be for 3 to 6 months, and then what eventually will happen is our body is so used to being on edge and ready to pump out cortisol is it will become fatigued and it will fall into a state of adrenal maladaptation or adrenal fatigue and go into what we call conservation mode. Conservation mode occurs when your body decides that rather than giving you that nice, healthy, normal cortisol pattern, it needs to be prepared at all times to give you a spike of cortisol. So instead, it will give you a small trickle of cortisol all day, which means that you're not getting the healthy cortisol spike in the morning, so you're not waking up feeling alert, you're waking up feeling sluggish and tired, like you don't want to get up, get out of bed. You're relying on stimulants to get you going. Then in the evenings, rather than getting into that deep cortisol trough, you may feel like you're sleeping okay, but you're waking up and your muscles are still sore. It's taking you longer to recover. And so, like I say, you get into this state of conservation where your body's not exactly sure what to do because it feels like it needs that cortisol all the time. So what ATP Science have done in Cort RX is bring together a blend of adaptogenic herbs which will help to get your body back onto the normal stress pathway and away from that hyperreactive or conservation state. So if your cortisol is too high, it will help to bring you back down to a healthy level, and if in the morning it's too low, it will help to increase it a little bit to give you some energy. We hope that this video has been super helpful for you guys. If you have any questions, feel free to shoot them through. Thanks for watching, we'll see you next time.